Championship is live on ESPN+. We start things out with semifinal number 1 between the top-seeded St. Joseph Hawks and the 4th-seeded High Point Panthers as we are underway from the campus of the University of Richmond. Welcome to Virginia.
Alert at the defensive end.
It's the 16th goal of the season for Jack Sawyer. And Dom, this could very well be where the game's won or lost at the Faceoff X. St. Joe's has one of the best in the country in Zach Cole.
It'll be very interesting, Ben, because all 4 teams in the conference in this championship have got good face-off guys. I don't think anyone's intimidated by Cole, but if he dominates play, it certainly will be a factor. And what you're most impressed with Cole is the fact that he picks the ball up himself. Averaging over 11 ground balls a game. That is just unbelievable, really.
It's tops in the A10. As a team, St. Joe's had Cole had the lion's share of the faceoffs for St. Joe's.
So that's they're going to put some pressure on High Point.
Big physical attack for the St. Joe's team, and Matt Bomer clearly loves playing against High Point. These two teams played only a couple of days ago. It was the regular season finale on Saturday, and Bomer had the best offensive day of anyone for St. Joe's. A goal and 4 assists, 5 points was a high for the Hawks and what ended up being a 17-11 win, down in North Carolina.
From
Zach Cole, we've talked so much about how St. Joe's has found success at the X, but the senior from Charlotte, North Carolina, stayed pretty close to home and so far has done the job in the early going as Cole's battling for it. You mentioned how well he can pick up the ground balls himself, but Hoben will take a check, and now the foot race is on. Still Cole's going after it, and now St. Joe's is able to scoop it up and start things off. That was James Peters who was able to track all the way back with a long stick. So now St. Joe's with a long pass ahead in the direction of Zach Cole, and Cole trying to get himself off the field instead of lose the lacrosse ball. Another turnover for St. Joe's. That's their second of the day. An opportunity to clearly he's been able to come up with a stop. Right back to the face-off X we go. Parker Green, the goalie for High Point. Shane Ryan in between the sticks for St. Joe's, and so far been a combined 4 shots on goal and 4 in the back of the net. As Hoben commits the infraction, he'll go the way of St. Joe's.
That may be the second violation also, which puts High Point in a situation where individually to try to handle.
So a 4-0 run in the span of about 4 minutes for St. Joe's as they take the commanding lead. And right off of the face-off, it will be won back by St. Joe's, as you mentioned. See how aggressive Collin Hoben can afford to be, knowing that the next infraction he commits will be the penalty, and it's a High Point team that does not kill penalties all that well. We'll talk more about that.
You're seeing Cole stay in the game right here. It's up anyway. We'll see how these don't always play to form. 2 teams that play a little closer to the vest, a little bit more low scoring perhaps. So it'll be an interesting evening.
Well, plenty of scoring here in this one, especially on the St. Joe side. A 5-1 lead after Joe Burnham set up by Cole Peters with a long pole. That long pole goal, especially leading into immediate timeout, always gives teams a ton of momentum.
And again, Cole stays in the game in order to make plays. It just gives you another kind of weapon, another aspect of the game that you can take advantage of. The early outstanding characteristic of this game has been High Point turning the ball over, and they clearly did not want that in the beginning of the game.
Already
fall back. If they're not going to dominate at the X, which is not likely, then they need to find other ways to get the ball back, and riding would be one of them.
And it was the goal scorer, Joe Burnham, who coughed it up, and Maye, who was named to the second-team all-conference list earlier on today, was able to send up his fellow second-teamer, Hunter Vines, who put it right past Shane Ryan, who is still yet to make a save in his 2 shots on goal allowed, but the ensuing ground ball off of the face-off goes the way of the Hawks. And now a whistle and a man down for the Panthers.
I think that's Hoben down there. That would be problematic for
It is
for
indeed.
High Point.
The senior. Yeah. 55% at the face-off X this season, and he appears to be in some amount of pain. And for High Point, as we just kind of have the opportunity to reset things. 8-7 on the year, 2-3 in conference play. We were talking about before the turnover a couple of things that could have gone differently for High Point, as we'll hope to get a look at how Hoben hit the deck. Just fighting things out, and might have gotten stepped on accidentally by Zach Manti out in front. Hopefully it's not too serious for Hoben, but as we were saying, it's a record that could have gone a lot differently for High Point. 2-goal loss to UMass, 12-10. Lost by 4 to Richmond. They kept that game close as well. There were a couple of games that could have gone either way.
Yeah, and both these teams played a difficult out-of-conference schedule, so they crook by crook, and I never call those garbage goals. Those are opportunities that generally are the result of effort and awareness.
3-0 High Point run to cut the deficit back down to just 1. Credit Ippolito with the assist as well. And Van Overbeck, who was maybe a bit surprisingly named to just the second team after leading the conference in points per game. That's point number 69 for him. 35 goals, 34 assists, really balanced on the offensive end.
I haven't seen High Point run by guys that often. It almost seems like St. Joe's is sliding a little bit early, maybe unnecessarily, in creating.
Carolina has found a home with the Panthers and with John Torpy's club. Final moments of the opening quarter. Either team's going to have to hurry if they get anything. St. Joe's does win the faceoff. They have to move in a hurry. Here's Anderson, double team, couldn't get it out of his cross clean enough, and that is how the first quarter comes to an end. High Point scored the first one. St. Joe's scored the next 5. High Point scored the early part of the first half, Dom. It was all St. Joe's, largely thanks to High Point not taking care of the ball as much as necessarily they should have, but the script flipped rather in the end of the first half.
There was just a shift in momentum about midway through the period. Like I said, it felt like St. Joe's early was going to go kind of run away and hide, and then
opportunities, but especially to somebody who now has 23 goals in the season. He knows a thing or two about putting in the back of the net. Zach Cole quickly.
They're just too dangerous on the attack with those 3 guys to give them space, room and space like that.
Well, Parker Green, a dangerous save that time, able to go low to stop what would have been 2 goals in the span of mere moments for the Hawks. So Mallory, who had 2 goals and an assist against High Point last time these two teams matched up only a couple of days ago, gets right back on the score sheet, and now St. Joe's right back on the ball as Cole wins it yet again. For Mallory, he had 4 points coming into this one. All 4 of them came in the last 2 games, so somebody who's making himself known in the opening half. Leads all attackers with the 3 goals.
And this is where the face-off guy, it's about maintaining momentum or turning it back the other way. If Cole can come up with another one, and St. Joe's they're on a little bit of a run here if they can keep it going.
3 of the 4 ground balls in the second quarter have gone the way of the Hawks as they scoop up another ground ball. These are the top 2 ground ball per game teams in the A10 is another shot as a result of it. But I got to make sure he didn't step in Parker Green's crease. And St. Joe's restores their lead to 4, and Cole trying to win it to himself in doing so. Well, Cole, I think he might have had a thought about a shot and then thought better of it. Those Fogo goals will give you some momentum, but not always the best decision to let it fly. But Anderson always likes to let it fly, and that never got through either. 5-goal lead. He would tell you that would come down to those extra supplementary guys, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and we talk about this all the time. Having other people step up. These teams prepare. They're going to
started the year well and is ending the year just as well. And it's an important first goal in the second half for High Point to get themselves a foothold.
And we've talked about the shifts of momentum in this game, and we'll see whether or not High Point can get it going again.
Zach Cole trying to come all the way down the middle and respond. That one might have caught the outside of the post. Fight is on for the rebound. It's free towards an open cage as Green is able to get back. It pops up in the air and is still loose. Fighting for it for St. Joe's is is Levi Birch, but taking it the other way are the Panthers. Mentioned how nice it would be for High Point to get a goal at the end of the first half. Now a chance to start off the second. It's the long pole. Grant Ahmed, just his second of the season. And the long pole goals really fire up the High Point bench, who senses that they're right back in it.
And both teams just, they get into the unsettled situation. They're both so dangerous, and they always are looking for the quick offensive opportunities.
Grant Ahmed, first team All A10, has been with this Panthers program through everything. It's his 6th year with the program. Got a red shirt in 2018 and in 2022 with injuries. He got the extra COVID year of frozen eligibility as well. So he's been with this High Point program through a lot of ups and a lot of downs. And he gets his name on the score sheet in the A10 championship. And all of a sudden, back-to-back Panthers goals in the first 2 minutes and change, make it just a 3-goal margin. Ensuing face-off will draw a whistle, and it'll be Hawks possession, or will it? No, it'll be High Point possession, in fact, and a chance to cut the lead even quicker. It'll be Rizzo to start things off. Rizzo and Amon. Time in the High Point record books as they come again with another shot that just missed wide. Not by much. The face-offs have been High Points in this third quarter. 3 out of the 4 have gone the way of the Panthers. Who is first to back that up? And the attention now goes to a High Point Panther who's hit the deck.
I think that's Hoben down again.
Yeah, he was down earlier on in the game in the first half. And now the attention will turn to who the injured Panther is.
Those face-off guys, you know, they pick up that loose ball. They know they got somebody on their tail. They're sent hell-bent for election, headed to the cage, and they're vulnerable.
Hopefully it isn't anything too serious as we get one more look at the play that caused that, and just a finish of a check for Joe Burnham, and that lost the helmet of the Panther, who is now going to get helped back to his feet. It does look like it is Hoben again, who has, as you mentioned, taken quite a bit of physicality, but has got something to show for it. 8 of the 20 faceoffs have been won by Hoben. So we get one more look at the hit from the reverse angle.
Yeah, you know, our game is transitioning from a game that used to be very physical to one that's trying.
In less than the first 3 minutes of the half.
Slick little handle inside.
High Point has kept with St. Joe's at the face-off X enough to stay in the game, but Cole's going to be able to win another one. And now it's the Hawks who are saying need a goal to stem the run of the other team. After it's been so much of that for High Point, just saying, hey, they need a goal to find their footing.
And this is, again, you know, we talked about it in the first half.
Caps off a back-to-back St. Joe's mini 2-0 run to get a little bit more separation. It's a 12-9 lead for the top seed Hawks over the 4th seeded Panthers, but the ensuing face-off goes the way of High Point, and it'll be the team and the lead back down to 2, and Hoben and Cole will go back to battle as they have all afternoon long. It's made for some very entertaining theater between these two. Cole, the graduate student, Hoben, the senior, 2 experienced guys going at it, and Cole wins the battle this time, and taking it right down the center is the long pole, Alex Keener, but now the ball's on the floor. Green tries to corral it, and he will do so. And now looking to spring the Panthers in a hurry the other way. Successful clear and get it long up ahead, and it has not been tied since it was 5-5. That was at the end of the first quarter. Ensuing face-off won by the Panthers, and they'll have another opportunity to draw level. They had a chance when it was 10-9, but then the Hawks scored each of the next 2. Panthers have stormed back and scored the next 2 themselves, and we're right back to a 1-goal game.
You know, strangely enough, we've sort of talked around it a little bit. It has felt at different times as if, okay, this game is going in one way or another, and then it wildly swings back.
High Point and St. Joe's were tied after 1 quarter of play. Then it was all Hawks in the 2nd quarter, all High Point in the 3rd, and now we head into the decisive 4th quarter of regulation in a 1-score game. It has been back and forth. There's been a combined between these two teams 4 different runs of 4 goals or more to 0. And now the Panthers with an opportunity to tie things up.
Yeah.
Even more, as it's a dozen up to start off the 4th quarter, just over a minute gone by.
A little ball watching back there, and High Point makes it pay off.
Next ground ball scooped up by the Hawks, but the pressure being put on, almost the trail check able to take it away, but now here comes St. Joe's the other way. Ground ball battle's been won by St. Joe's, so semifinal, 4th seed High Point, top seed St. Joe's, back and forth as the ensuing face-off results in a ground ball that is still loose on the ground. Foot race is on as it remains on the ground. Fighting for it is David Shue, the junior from Pennsylvania. It's still loose, and now a whistle. And it will go the way of the Panthers.
Well, what do you know, Ben?
Seems like High Point's won all those little 50-50s.
Right down the pipe, and like I say, St. Joe's has got to figure that out there.
They've been able to spread the wealth as well. 9 different players with a goal for High Point, including 5 with 2. No hat tricks yet for the Panthers.
Violation for Cole on the face-off.
So we'll go back to High Point yet again. 9-2 advantage in the 2nd half on the scoreboard for John Torpy's team, who is looking for one of their 11-10. Beat Hobart 11-10. Beat Richmond 14-12. They know how to win these kinds of tight games. We've talked about how High Point has lost some of these tight games, but they did beat Hobart by 1 as well. Lost 12-10 to UMass. Lost 17-15 to Jacksonville. Which team has the final 2 minutes and 6 seconds in them, or will we head to bonus lacrosse? Face-off, won by Hoben.
Clean as a whistle.
And Hoben could take it himself. He'll give it up, extra pass, burying it is Jack Van Overbeck.
unselfish Collin Hoben, and it's a 2-goal lead again. Torpy drew something up. He couldn't have drawn up anything better than that.
And in the most unlikely situation, really, we're against Cole facing off. Hoben wins that face-off clean as a whistle and finds a guy in the bottom corner.
Jack Van Overbeck with a day for the ages. 3 goals, 4 assists, 7-point day for the junior who does not want his 3rd season in High Point to come to an end. And now with under 2 to play, just under 2 to play, Hoben wins another one. Cole has won more, but it seems like all the big ones have gone the way of the High Point face-off man, the senior from Charlotte.
Well, certainly there haven't been too many face-offs bigger than these past 2, and Hoben has been
over towards the cage to cover too late.
I would not debate Coach Torpy on that subject right now. Whatever he thought was best is probably what was best there.
High Point has outscored St. Joe's 11-3 in the second half. Ensuing face-off won by the Hawks. It really had to be. Then it was stymied right in the middle, and High Point battling for it along the far side. Foot races on, unable to keep it alive, though, was Sawyer, who only moments ago had to call himself off the field, and then just goal from Ryan Hines in the 4th quarter. And after an all-time second half performance, the clock will run out in Richmond. An all-time A10 shocker in the first ever A10 championship game. High Point Panthers